the whole point of this composition, so when you're running this composition, right? When you're running Banana Rush, when you are running Banana Rush, which is this composition here, this is supposed to be a Reaper, Torb, whatever. When you're running Banana Rush, you are basically heal botting the Winston, okay? You're going to be using your Suzu to bail the Winston out, or to allow him to get a little bit of extra cleave damage in, or to save a teammate, okay? So your primary objective is to be mainly healing the Winston, stacking with Winston. You four should be stacking together. You four should be stacking together while the Sojourn takes an off angle and does her own thing. The Sojourn has slide, so if she gets pressured, she can get out, and you can also TP to her. Okay? So, you four all want to be stacking. You all want to be stacking, and you specifically want to be healing the fuck out of the Winston. Okay? Now, against this composition, it's going to be kind of weird, but you guys will probably get like an easy dub here, not going to lie. Because you guys just have the better comp, right? Brig is extremely diveable here. Same thing with Widowmaker. So those are going to be your two biggest dive targets that you and your teammates should be hardcore focusing. Okay. I would recommend going after the Widowmaker first because she has a lot of pick potential on your team. The Widowmaker can easily just delete one of your teammates and you wouldn't even know it until it already happened. And then after that, you'd want to focus on the Brig or even the Mercy. Okay, yes, the Sojourn also has pick potential, but the Sojourn's more than likely going to be pocketed by the Mercy, and it's going to be a lot harder to actually get the elimination on the Sojourn. So these two are going to be your primary dive targets. Then after these two are dead, then you're going to want to work on either one of these, whichever one's in a poor position. Okay. Saw Kiriko with Sojourn on another angle. That does happen, but primarily, you want to be stacking with your Winston, and here's why. This composition has a very, very, very low healing. And when you're off-angling with Kiriko, okay, it's okay for you to off-angle with Kiriko occasionally. But to be perpetually on an off-angle with Kiriko, that's going to really put your Winston at a hardcore disadvantage with only Lucio healing. Okay, because usually they usually mirrored, right? They would run a Reaper instead of a Torb, and they would just run Mirror and Owl. With this comp, it's a counter dive comp. It's a counter dive comp. This comp is not a dive comp. This is not a rush comp. This is a counter dive comp when you're playing it in a mirror matchup. Okay, so you want the other team to basically make a mistake. And how do you make them make a mistake? You want to force out specific cooldowns from the enemy team. Now, this is different. I'm just going to talk about this in a mirror matchup. We're just going to talk about Banana Rush in a mirror matchup, and then I'll get on to this composition, right? So in a mirror matchup, there are two key abilities that you want to force from the enemy team before you can win the team fight. There are two key abilities. You want to focus out the Reaper Wraith, and so basically, what's going to happen is this composition's all done by playing corners, right? You and your teammates want to be playing in close. Yeah, you're supposed to have a Reaper. You and your teammates are supposed to be playing in close proximity, playing basically like a rush comp, right? That's why it's called Banana Rush. So let's just talk about this. Let's just talk about this real quick. Okay. This composition, let's just say you win the first team fight or whatever, and now they're trying to push from spawn like this. You want to be holding corners. That is how this composition works, is you want to be holding hard corners. Okay, you want to be trying to force out those key abilities. Now, when you're holding these hard corners, if you have a Reaper, the Reaper and the Monkey should be fucking side by side. They should not leave each other's side. The Reaper is supposed to be laying down just a shitload of frontline damage and forcing out those two key abilities, aka Wraith and or Bubble. Okay, now once you force out Wraith, you and your team need to dive and focus out that Reaper. Okay, if you can kill the enemy Reaper in this composition, you win. GG rip. Okay, if you focus out the Reaper, if you force him to use Fade early, and then you and your team dive him and focus him out after when Fade's over, you win. Okay, so the linchpin of this composition is not only the Monkey Bubble, but you also want to focus out Reaper Wraith. If Reaper holds on to Wraith longer than your Reaper, and your Reaper's forced to use Wraith faster, then you are going to probably lose. Okay, bubble Winston. If you make the Winston bubble early, then focus out Winston. If you make the Reaper Wraith early, then you want to focus out the Reaper. Okay, you want to be playing corners. You want to be playing corners and close sight lines. Now, the other thing that you guys can play this is if you see the Sojourn, you guys are holding this hard angle here, right? You guys are holding this hard angle here, right? Sojourn's more than likely going to be taking off angle, so she'd want to be like up here, or she'd want to be all the way over here if you're running a mirror matchup. Okay, now if the Sojourn's already over here, I would not suggest diving the Sojourn. What you're going to need to do is poke her out using your Sojourn that should also be off angling. The reason why you wouldn't want to dive the Sojourn over here is because if you and your team dive the Sojourn over here, what is she going to have? More than likely, she's going to have slide, and then she's going to be able to get out this way, and her Kiriko's going to save her ass, and now the enemy team just gets the choke for free. So here is where the Sojourn and the Kiriko are both going to have to try and focus out the flanking or off-angling Sojourn on this side instead of you and your teammates diving that Sojourn. The odds of you confirming that elimination on the Sojourn are probably about 30%, right? You probably have about 30% chance of actually eliminating that Sojourn, okay? And that's not worth it to me. Okay? More than likely, if you can focus out that Sojourn, make the Kiriko go onto that Sojourn, right? So if you're still playing up mid, your Kiriko and your Sojourn are both able to poke her out from over here, and the Sojourn fades back this way, and all of a sudden you see the Kiriko teleport from the front line over here all the way to the Sojourn over here. Then you and your teammates would have to speed up mid and take advantage of the healing disadvantage. Okay? That's how you play the mirror matchup here. Now, once again, you're going to want to be playing corners, but now you have a Torb instead of a Reaper, which means Torb has a little bit different of a kit. His turret is going to be mainly used to help secure off angles. Okay, his turret's going to be used to secure off angles. Now, ideally, you'd want to put turrets somewhere where it would help secure this off angle specifically, right? Like right about here on the Mega. So like if people come from this direction, they get shot at. If they, oh, actually right about here-ish. So if they come from over here, they get shot at. If they come up from mid, the turret can also shoot at them and all that. Torb is still, I don't think Torb's the worst pick in the world. I mean, Reaper's better, but Torb still provides like a good amount of value in this composition. So you'd want the Torb to be off angling over here, and then you and your teammates would want to be stacking right here, focusing out specifically the Widowmaker first, because she will not be getting pocketed, and then the Brig or the Sojourn or the Mercy, right? Widowmaker first though, because she's going to be the easiest elimination. Okay, so going over Kiriko in this composition, once again, stacking with the monkey, you are the primary healing for the monkey, so you need to keep that monkey up. You're going to need to be doing a shitload of healing to that monkey while occasionally launching in your kunai at specifically the head hitbox. My issues right now. Remember what I said at the beginning of this game, right? You need to be stacking with the monkey, playing corners. This composition's all about playing short sight lines. Short sight lines. You and your team need to be playing aggressively to take advantageous positioning fast. Okay? There's multiple ways to play Banana Rush. On this map, you guys need map control. Why do you need map control? Because this map is open. This is a very open map that gives a lot of angles. So, for you guys to win on this map, playing this composition, you need to have map control. The way you get map control is by using A, bubble, B, putting bodies there, or C, getting there faster than the enemy team. So you guys are playing this composition completely wrong right now. Okay, you have zero map control. Because you have no map control, that's giving the enemy DPS, who like to play long sightlines, who like to play off angles, eliminations. That's not your fault specifically, that's your tank's fault, but you're not stacking with your tank. Should Reaper attempt to dive Widow or control space, Reaper should be playing side by side with the Monkey. Where Monkey goes, Reaper goes. If Monkey dives Widow, Reaper dives Widow. If Monkey goes up mid, Reaper goes up mid. you have 0 map control. When you have 0 map control, when you have 0 space to work with, what happens? When you're playing Banana Rush and you have 0 map control, 0 space to work with, how do you regain the map control? How do you shut down the off angles? How do you prevent them from having open sight lines on you and your team? This is how. Okay? You guys are going to have to path effectively to a point where you are not getting you're not actively exposing yourself to those long sight lines. Okay? So, walking straight. So right now you guys are doing a good job of pathing this way, right? You know Widowmaker's up here, so you're not going to walk down mid. So that's already a plus. Okay? So, you would want to dive Widowmaker. Okay, so you and your team wants to path up this way. Let's just assume they don't have a Widowmaker right now, because obviously you guys are going to dive the Widowmaker, and you guys are probably going to kill her because she's separated from her team. Okay, so we're just gonna say they don't have a Widowmaker right now. Let's just say they are playing with a Reaper. Odds are the enemy team, if they're playing back here like this, okay, what do you guys have to do? You guys have to path up this way, keep playing short sight lines, and if Monkey can literally walk on top of them, he should be walking on top of the enemy. Okay? He should be trying his best to walk as far as he can without having to use leap. Why? Because if he's walking, obviously with a speed boost on, if he is walking, that means you and your team will be sticking together. Once Monkey leaps into the enemy team, that's where shit gets sticky. Okay, that's where shit gets sticky. Now he's separated from the Reaper, separated from the Kiriko, separated from the Lucio. Okay, that's where shit gets sticky, right? So what you'd want to do in this situation is you'd want to use Sojourn E to zone out a specific area or to slow them down in a specific area to give you and your team an opportunity to speed boost on top of them to try and get an elimination. Okay, now how does that look? Okay, so you guys path up this way. Now, if they're playing up top here like this, your Sojourn should try and use E on them. E, the Sojourn, or E, the Brig. Right now, I'm going to say E, the Sojourn. Why? High ground control. High ground is a form of corner. Okay? High ground is a form of corner, which is how you want to be playing this composition. So if you shoot your Sojourn E up top here at this angle, zoning her out from walking backwards, right? You'd want to zone out. The way that you use zoning ultimates is you don't zone them. If you're running a composition like this, that's pretty mobile. If you're running a heavily mobile composition, you do not want to zone them out where they are. You want to zone them out where they want to go. Okay? You want to zone them out where they want to go. Not where they are, but where they want to go. So here, your Sojourn would want to E right here, stick it right here. Okay, now this is going to give you and your teammates an opportunity to just speed boost, walk on top of the Sojourn. Okay, now the Sojourn is going to either A, slide into you guys and die, B, slide back this way and go through the slow. At that point, when she's going through the slow, that's when Monkey can use a short leap and try and do a burst amount of damage and try and confirm the elimination. Or she slides this way. And now this is exposing a wider angle into your team. Now you guys have a shorter amount of distance to get to her, right? Instead of her sliding back here through the E, she slides through this way, which now is a shorter distance between you and your team. So now you guys can just walk on top of her and help confirm the elimination. Okay? Or if you don't confirm the elimination, you at least get high ground control now. Okay? Right now, you just want to be forgetting about the ball because ball's not going to do shit to your comp. Honestly, with having Lucio Kiriko, ball's going to be fucking awful. What do you mean by zone out? Zone out means that they cannot be in that area without getting a negative effect. Like if you use dragon around a corner, does the enemy team want to be standing around that corner right where you dragon? No. So you're effectively taking space from the enemy team forcefully by using an ability or an ultimate. So now, obviously, your Monkey's going to jump Widowmaker, right? Your Monkey's going to jump Widowmaker, or should jump Widowmaker. Your monkey's going to be able to do it pretty effectively. They don't have any counter dive. The Widowmaker's all by herself, so that's going to be an easy elimination for her. Or him. Okay. Okay, so monkey is jumping the Widowmaker. As of this moment, the best thing you can do, especially with Sojourn ulting like that, right? You could try and... Oh my god. Is the monkey going to confirm the elim on this? The best thing you could do is just wait. Dude, your monkey's leaving you guys on a fucking island. Okay, so this monkey is playing this poorly. Okay? If he doesn't confirm the elimination right away, and the Widowmaker starts getting out like that, does he get the elimination? I have to see now. Oh, he actually kills her. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like this. Chat, why do I not think this is a... Why do I not think this is a good idea? Looking at what's happening here. The monkey going fucking balls deep into the enemy team to go kill that Widowmaker. Why is that not a good idea, chat? Why do we not endorse that? Because he's balls deep and the team's on the other fucking side? Yeah. Now, like, okay... Now you have nothing to buffer the enemy tank. You have nothing to buffer between the back line and the front line. You have nothing to buffer. Like, you have no damage mitigation. Right? You have no damage mitigation here. And now your team's going to get wiped. Because you have 0 damage mitigation. Because the monkey is all the way in their back line. Right? You guys should lose this. You guys should just die here. Right? So this is bad. You guys lose, I'll be surprised if you actually win this. Why is the enemy team not engaging into you? Wow. Okay. I'm surprised. Okay. That's fine. It's a good ult. I like it. You kept it on the high ground. Okay. Cool. I can't believe they didn't wipe you guys here. Okay. Genuinely upset. Where should you be playing? So I actually kind of misspoke earlier. Okay. I misspoke earlier. You guys shouldn't, if you guys can, instead of playing down here, you and your teammates should be playing up top. Like this. Okay. You and your teammates should be playing up top. Like this. Okay. Because, once again, you want to save Winston jump for as long as possible. And how do you save Winston jump? You start up on the high ground, you walk off of high ground, and then you can re-jump up into high ground if you need to. Okay? So this is where you guys should be positioned. Up here. Now, once they come through, you can just drop in the middle of their team, and yada, yada, yada. Kill, kill, kill. That type of shit. So you taking a long sight line, you're not helping your monkey here. Okay? Your monkey's in a bad spot now, because you're not helping your monkey. Your monkey requires a lot of healing and support. You almost just killed your monkey here. That's your fault. He may be doing right things sometimes, but he's playing monkey most of the time. Just completely wrong. Okay, this is winnable. I do like the ult, kind of. So here is a fine ult. It's not the best ult in the world, right? It's not the best ult in the world. You know that your team is about to full cap this, right? You know. So this situation, you do a great job of Suzuing yourself here. Okay. Future Curly here. This part of the audio got cut due to Twitch's DMCA rules. So I'm going to quickly summarize why you should be ulting towards a point here. You guys are just about to win the map. You're at 91% right now. And that means that the enemy team is going to have to contest that point. You using your ultimate onto the point is going to make the enemy team have to play around it or in it, which gives your team an inherent advantage. Future Curly here again. Once again to DMCA regulations on Twitch. Right here I'm talking about the usage of Kiriko's Suzu. I think the Kiriko misused her Suzu in this situation because the monkey still has his bubble up, which gives him a great amount of damage mitigation as long as he plays around said bubble. You'd want to use your Suzu when the enemy is about to burst down who you're healing, right? So if you know the enemy is going to burst down your monkey, then yes, you'd want to Suzu him. But if the monkey is just taking just general poke damage or just general damage from the enemy team, that's not going to absolutely evaporate him, then it is best for you to just try and heal through it, or just have the monkey play around his bubble. Once the bubble is gone, and the monkey starts taking a good serious amount of damage, like he's probably about around 300-ish HP left, then you can use Suzu to protect him. The reason why you'd want to do that is because Suzu gives him invulnerability for 0.75 seconds. In that 0.75 seconds, you can continue to heal him, which allows him to regenerate a lot of his HP back. And then afterwards, that 0.75 seconds is done, and you continuously heal him, he's going to be able to continue to do damage after the fact, right? So now he's going to be able to take another couple hundred damage before he has to disengage. And hopefully by that time, he will have more resources back off cooldown. He will hopefully have leap back off cooldown, and he will hopefully be coming back on his bubble ability once again. So yeah, the things, you need to be stacking with your monkey more. Playing more corners with your team, and better Suzu timing. I mean, this game isn't really your fault. You could be playing better, but blah, blah, blah.
Change of plans. Let's win this time.
Yeah, that had to have been one person. That guy, like, didn't even get coaching. Like, they probably just got, like, they probably just saw my shit, and then just, like, maybe came in one time, and then just called it good. Just called it good. It's a fine Suzu if you and your team are going to speed boost through there like that. That's fine. If you guys already have an elimination, you guys are just going to fucking go aggro. That's fine. Corners, you and your team should be playing corners. You guys are... Your monkey's going to give me a fucking headache. Like, I'm mad at you for coaching, but type... I remember that guy, too. Good Suzu. Good Suzu. That one was a good Suzu because your monkey was about to die. That was a good Suzu. Ult was fucking horrible. You played that ult so fucking selfishly, it was disgusting. Kiriko ult is not an ult that you should be using selfishly. Baptiste window you can use selfishly. Kiriko ult, not one of them that you should be using selfishly, right? Oh, chat, so I actually have a ooh, good grenade. I thought that was gonna hit. Good position. Yeah, dude, this season feels awful, not gonna lie. Like, I want them to do a MMR reset again. Good shots. You're playing this pretty well right now. Just know the soldier might flank you. Why are you jumping down? Just stay up on that high ground. You'll do more up on that high ground than what you will on the low ground. Future Curly here, once again. I don't mention this in the VOD, but because of Kiriko's poor positioning right here, she's exposed way too much. The monkey and the Lucio are actually doing a great job of playing cover and playing the corners, while you are out in the open. You're getting too greedy for that damage, too greedy for the eliminations. Although you don't die here, you put yourself at extreme risk of dying. And that's one of the major things I see perpetually happening within this VOD, is that you're not holding corners tight enough, and you're also not holding with your monkey well enough. Instead of being positioned over here, like, yes, this is fine for you to be positioned over here, but you do have to worry about Sojourn one shot, alright? You shooting down mid is kind of fine, but you do want to rotate over to your monkey as soon as possible. Your monkey burnt bubble here for no fucking reason. Like, this is a really, 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 really stupid bubble. Really stupid bubble. There's no reason for him to bubble here. He should just be taking poke damage. Please remember, the two most important abilities in this composition is Bubble and Wraith. Obviously, neither team has a Reaper, but that's technically what they are. Okay? Bubble and Wraith. And for him just to use Bubble just to take general poke damage is absolutely asinine. And because he does that, now look, the enemy team is going to walk forward. What he could have done now, this is a little bit of a learning experience for you guys. Wait until the D.Va walks further forward into your team, and then he could have bubbled on top of the D.Va, and then the D.Va would have received no healing, except from the Mercy, right? And maybe forced out Immortality Field, maybe even demech her. Probably don't demech her, but you force out a lot of abilities from her and her team, okay? And that is worth the trade. Future Curly here for the 20th time. I had a long-winded explanation on why the Kiriko should be stacking with the monkey. I first mentioned that it's okay for the Kiriko to go for that poke damage immediately, as long as Sojourn doesn't have rail here. After that, you need to be stacking with your monkey. Kiriko here ends up forcing their monkey to disengage because the Kiriko is going way too heavy on the damage and not enough on the healing. Remember, you are playing Lucio Kiriko, which means Kiriko is the main source of healing and the main source of support for your monkey. And monkey is going to eat up a lot of resources from both you and the Lucio. And Kiriko just outputs so much more healing, so monkey is really, really, really dependent on that healing. And with you just forgetting about him for a good couple of seconds, that's enough to force him out, and that's enough for you guys to lose the space battle, lose the control of the map, which then causes you guys to lose this fight. You could. Okay, that's fine. You guys get easy. I was gonna say, that's a fine ult. I'm gonna explain this ult. So this ult was a pretty good ult. It allows you guys to take high ground with it and engage into them, and then from here you guys can still play high ground. You got fucking rolled here though. So you should be stacking with your monkey to the left side. You're not doing a very great job of stacking with your monkey. You're making your monkey get out in bad positions because of you're not healing him, right? You're making your monkey move from good positioning or good dives into bad dives and like repositioning himself because you're not giving him the support that he needs. So you need to be better with stacking with your monkey. What are the 3 things that you should be working on? Okay, so yeah, positioning, remember, and banana rush, play corners, stacking with your monkey, providing him you're almost a heal bot, right? You want to be dumping those heals into your monkey. Third is using your ultimate effectively. Okay? Using your ultimate effectively.